guys, welcome to another episode of Social Media Workshop with Oscar Steck and yours truly, your host, at Not a Grouch on Twitter. Today we're going to cover a topic that is very important for beginners, and that is your Twitter name, how you come up with it, how you use it, and why is it important to pick a good one. So let's get started right away. The first thing that you need to make sure when you pick a Twitter name is that it's short. The shorter the better, always, every single time. Now, there's people that don't agree with that. In my opinion, it is the best way. Having a short name is the best approach to your Twitter name because it's easy to remember and it's easy to type, provided you pick a good name. So try to keep it under 20 characters. That seems to be about the magic number. The reason for that is that you're limited to 140 characters when you say something on Twitter, and you want to be able to fit the person that you want to talk to and what you want to say to them in one tweet. So when people want to tweet to you, you want to make sure that your name is short so they also are able to talk to you. The next thing you want to remember when you create your Twitter name is that it needs to be memorable. Easy to remember, easy to tell somebody else. So when somebody's in a conversation and they say, oh, well, you should follow my friend Daria, that they're able to tell them what your Twitter name is without having to look it up, without having to say, oh, you know what, I'll go home and look it up and send it to you, because that usually doesn't happen. You want to make sure that it's easy to convey to other people. So easy to spell and memorable. And then the next thing you want to do, of course, I already mentioned that a little bit right now, is that you want it to be easy to spell. That's very, very important. No matter how short it is, if people can't spell it, they'll never get a hold of you, right? So, for example, let's look at a couple of names that are interesting to me. And these are from friends that I follow and friends that I've had for a while on Twitter. The first one that we see here is Kristen. She is from Australia, and her name is Kristen Simmons. And her Twitter handle is Christorella. Now, that's a cool name. I think that's a very memorable name. It's easy to spell. You spell it exactly like it sounds, and it works. It's memorable. It's very unique. So that's one of my favorite names, actually, in all my Twitter friends. Then if we look down a little bit, we can see Daria. I was talking about Daria just a few minutes ago. And Daria has a cool name. It's very short and sweet, and it describes who she is, or maybe not necessarily who she is, but it's descriptive. So if you look at her name is MSD Carey. So that's Miss Daria Carey. So it incorporates a title, a first name, and a last name all into a short tweet name. And here's another one, for example, for my friend V. I think you say it V. I've never even really spoken to her, but her name is V_rocks. So ROX. And that's just because she kicks butt on Twitter, and she's really good. So, with that said, make sure that it's short, memorable, and easy to spell. Those are the most important things. Anything besides that is irrelevant, and I'm going to tell you why. You don't need to worry too much about having it be your first and last name, or your company name, or your product name. Notice that these 3 examples that I gave you right now on my Twitter feed right here, what is it that you're looking at? What's most noticeable is actually our first and last name, or in the case of Daria and V, their first name. That's the part that you fill out in your bio. If you go look back at some of the videos, the previous video about filling out your bio on Twitter, you can clearly see where you fill that out. But Twitter is putting a lot more emphasis on that because they're trying to make Twitter a more personable space, and also as more and more people join, the Twitter handles become more of a resource that's disappearing, right? So if you're looking for a common name and you want that to be your Twitter name, chances are that it's not going to be available. So Twitter realizes this, and they're making changes in their design so that some of the emphasis on that Twitter handle is taken away, and you're actually able to say your first name and your last name, and people can find you by that. There's a lot of people on my Twitter friends that I don't really know what their Twitter handle is because they follow me and I follow them back, but I see their first and last name. So it's important, but it's not as important as it used to be a few years ago. So don't fret over it too much. Don't spend hours trying to pick your name. If you have a first and last name that meets all the requirements I just said, short, memorable, and easy to spell, then use that. If you have a company name that doesn't sound like you're advertising something, then you can use that as well. Even if you want to use a product name, that's fine as well. So long as you are not going to use that name to simply spam people with your product or your message. That will be that will be another topic that we talk about in the upcoming weeks, about what kind of stuff you want to talk about on Twitter, so you don't come across as a spammer or a self-promotional jerk, so to speak. So remember, memorable, short, and easy to spell. Anything besides that, it's a matter of opinion and a matter of preference. So go ahead and pick your Twitter name, your Twitter handle. If you already created your Twitter bio, this is a good time to change it to whatever you want. You can always change your Twitter name once you pick one. There's no limits. As long as the new Twitter handle that you want is available, you can change it at any time. And you don't lose your followers. You won't lose anything by changing your name, except you will lose that name. And once you pick a name, if you really like it, don't change it, because you cannot change it back if somebody else takes it. And trust me, I learned that the hard way. Maybe I'll tell you about that story another time. My handle is Not a Grouch, and the way I picked that was by taking on Oscar the Grouch and playing on that, because Oscar the Grouch always is grouchy, and I tend to be a really, really happy person. I like to be upbeat. I enjoy life a lot. So a play on words was to go with Not a Grouch, because Oscar Gonzalez was already taken. It's a very popular name, and there's tons of Oscar Gonzalez's actually on Twitter. So I had to use something that was creative and unique, and so I came up with Not a Grouch. People remember it, and I've actually had people come up to me at networking events or different places that I visit, where people tell me, "Oh, aren't you Not a Grouch?" And they do that happens for the reason that I have a memorable name. It's catchy. It invites people to look at my profile a little more than the average user. And I also have a recognizable picture that when people see me on the street or on a networking event, they know that that's me. So tomorrow we will cover your picture and what you should put in there, as well as your background and your color layout. And get ready to start tweeting, because we will start that in the next couple episodes. Thank you so much for watching, and please leave me a comment on the video down below, or on if you have any questions and you'd rather be private about it so people don't judge you or anything. I certainly won't judge you. There is no dumb question. Send them to questions@oscarstech.com. I'd be happy to answer them in private, and I might answer them in the air as well. Just if you want to be anonymous, please say so. You can also call me. Phone number is at the end of the video. Thanks for watching again. Stay tuned for the next episode, and I will see you next time. Okay? Have a great day.